Hi everyone. A lot of people are asking about my spiritual transformation and what I think triggered it. Well, it's it's pretty easy. It's triggered by trauma. It's triggered by being hurt to a point where you don't have any place to go, nobody to talk to, and you just got to deal with the pain. Um, I call it the dark night of the soul. You can call it a tower moment. You can call it whatever you want, but it's just a really deep, horrible place to be. And when you're in there, some things happen to you. You go into chills. You start having night sweats. The fogginess of what happened, vivid dreams about people. It's like as if they could communicate to you through their dreams to tell you what they're truly feeling and not what they're saying. Um, you don't want to get close to people because you feel as if there's a heightened state of hypersensitivity, and if you sit and expose yourself to people, you'll start to see red flags in them, and you'll eventually ruin relationships. And so it's really, really important to be in isolation because of the clarity that's involved. You're there to fix yourself, not to sit and look at what other people are doing. And so it's really important to understand that. And the person that was involved with this, that actually triggered it, God led me to see that that's their role in life, and not to have um, any aggression towards them, any hate towards them, any anger at all. As a matter of fact, I just naturally feel nothing but love and compassion for them. I don't want to be in a situation where they have to be my enemy. I'm not looking to have anything more out of it, but for the person, or I call them the antagonist, that person has to deal with the effects of how this impacted them. And so all I have is love and compassion for them as they go through their journey, but they're there for a reason. It was meant for me to go through this journey, and they were put into your life to create the triggers that actually cause you to go through this to get to your calling. And so my whole view on a lot of things like religion and, and interpersonal relationships and everything else, it's different. But it's really important for me to be alone right now because I feel that I'll say or do things that will trigger things in people that can actually be hurtful. So there's a side effect to the hyper awareness and the hyper vigilance and everything. But the key thing is I needed to figure out what really caused me to be in the predicament of codependency that I'm in, and I had to take time to go through and self-reflect and figure out what in my past actually caused all of this. And it wasn't, once you find out, it's not the person that you felt hurt you all that did this. It is actually something from the past that this whole event uh, leads to, for you to figure out what it was and how to fix it within yourself. So it's not like you really have any choice. It happens to you physically. And I think there's two options you can go. You become a lot less empathetic, a lot less compassionate, a lot less loving, or you can go to the other side of the spectrum and become hypersensitive, completely empathetic, completely compassionate to a level that people look at you and they feel that you're nothing but a walking weakness with no boundaries. But yes, at one point you didn't have boundaries. Now you do. And so when you start creating the boundaries, now you have to learn how to live with them. Because for me, once I started creating boundaries, um, there was also this guilt that came along with it, that that I might be hurting somebody's feelings. So I was more focused on the feelings of others than I was on my own. So yeah, I was practicing self-abandonment because I was putting everybody ahead of myself. So with what I'm doing right now, with being in the gym, uh, getting these treatments, working on my self-esteem, um, even what's really, really important is who's in your life and who's not. Cutting people out. I've had to cut family members out. I've had to cut children out of my life. Um, and then there's others, right? And so with that, and when I say others, that are in another category of people who um, tend to sap your energy automatically. And yeah, that can happen, you know, through the occasion of things like soul ties and trauma bonds, things that are kind of like transferred through sex and through different ways. So it's pretty profound. And I think that as I talk about it, I need to kind of break down each stage of what I experienced so that people could get a better understanding. But this is just kind of a broad overview of what I've been going through for the last 18 months. How long this is going to last, I don't know. But I'm at a point now where there's nobody that can help me with the void that was there. I've been working to address the root causes of it over the last several months when I realized that that I had a high amount of anxiety, and it was a constant anxiety, the type that really screws up your brain, you know, where it shrinks your hippocampus, your prefrontal cortex, your other areas of your brain that are affected by things like childhood trauma. And so it's all a work in progress. How long did it last? There's no time limit to it. Some people cure or heal in X amount of time, a year, 2 years. I'm a year and a half in. I'm nowhere near healing. But I'm not worried about that anymore because I feel good. It's just that emotionally I'm tired, and it's affected me putting things together for my own better, like the podcasting and things like that. But now I feel that it's really, really important to get that message out, especially with the way the world climate is and how social media is generating people who show characteristics that are super toxic. And it's going to be really important that people learn about those folks and how to treat them. And I don't want to argue with people anymore. I would really rather them kind of take a look on their own and figure out on their own what they did for me to break contact with them. And 9 out of 10 times, it's either going to come from a betrayal, disrespect.
Can I come in?
Sure. Or any of that there. One of my nurses is in. So anyway, folks, I wish you all an awesome day. And if anybody's going through this type of journey and want to talk about it, let me know. Talk to you soon. Bye.